Hello friends, my name is James. And this is my 1965 Alberg 30 sloop, Tritea. We are on a mission to sail around the world and see as much of this beautiful planet as possible. We're currently working our way through the South Pacific. I can't wait to show you everything we see. Good morning from Viti-Levu, what they call the mainland here in Fiji, which is the biggest island. I think the name of this port, I think the way you pronounce this port is Denarau. This is where all the marine shops are. Yacht Help is who I'm gonna go see today to see if they can sort me out a new starter. Just enjoying some coffee, had a very nice sleep, peaceful rest last night, and I was shocked waking up to see how many boats are in this anchorage, because I only saw there were only 4 anchor lights on last night when I came in, and I'm well away from everyone. It was clear, it was even light enough near to the city lights that I could see that there were no boats near me, but there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 boats in this anchorage, and I only saw 4 anchor lights last night. It's not that hard. So I'm about to pull the starter off, back off the engine again this morning to take into town to go try to sort it out, get a new one. I didn't film any of the sort of troubleshooting yesterday. At certain points, like, filming your life is hard. And filming projects is like, makes every project go twice as long. Yesterday I was in kind of like crisis mode, so I didn't bother filming because I was just trying to get my safety and security sorted out. So I'll go ahead and film me pulling this thing off the engine, talk a little bit about it, and then we'll go into town and try to see if we can find a new starter. I'm sure this one can be rebuilt as well, so I don't know if I'll have it done here in New Zealand, but I will definitely be having a spare starter on the boat forever from this point forward. I also should probably get a spare alternator, but that's less of a concern because like 99% of my power regeneration is solar, so. But a starter is very necessary. I did try hand cranking it yesterday. I've never been able to hand crank my engine to get it to start. And I've never read of anyone successfully hand cranking a 2GM20. Maybe somebody could, but if you have a video of someone actually hand crank starting a 2GM20F that isn't already warmed up, I would like to see that video. Alright, so time to finish my coffee, and then we'll go down to below, pop off the companionway steps, and pull that starter back off. The little screw I'm taking off right now is a son of a bitch because it's very small, and I lost it in the build yesterday, and it took me like half an hour to find. And as you can see, the access is not like superb. Sometimes these little thumb ratchets are their dream in tight spots. And there we have it. Alright, so this is the magnetic switch. I don't know that it's the same thing as a proper solenoid, but it has a similar function. I'm not sure if this is failing or if the starter's failing or the both of them are failing. But we're going to take it in, try to get a replacement, and if not, we're going to take this one apart, sand everything inside, clean everything, sand the point, like the little, I don't know if they're called points, brushes, and see if this can get us to New Zealand if we can't find a replacement. Alright, let's get in. Alright, dropped off the starter with a certified Yanmar dealer, and they're going to look into it tomorrow about rebuilding it for me. And one of the guys from their office I spoke to on the phone, he's going to see about ordering me a new one from Australia to find out the costs, all that stuff. Though they don't open for a couple of hours because they're ahead, so he's going to call me when he finds out that price, and hopefully I'll get both done. Order a new one, get that one rebuilt, and then we're set. So it's been a few days since I dropped off the starter to the shop. It is Monday now. He looked at it over the weekend and determined that it was the magnetic switch, which is like the solenoid. And he said he was gonna call today and see if they had a part. Okay, he just called and asked if I could come in to the shop and so we could have a conversation about what the path forward is on fixing the starter. So let's get in and get that dealt with. Okay, so we're here. What's the name of this spot?
That's Babo Marine.
Babo Marine, and they're looking at fixing the starter, so let's look at what's wrong with it.
So yeah, while I was inspecting the starter motor, so we found the brushes are gone, and the starter solenoid wasn't coping well with the starter. So basically you have to give it a clean and change the brushes, and just put this on, give it a service, and then see how it goes.
Right, bench test it with the new brushes?
Yeah.
Awesome. So, and then if that doesn't work, then we have to think about another solenoid. But first, we're going to try this to try to save some money, because we're in a remote place, so it's more expensive. But I don't have endless budget, so
yeah, exactly.
Thanks so much. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
So, currently as it stands, it's going to be like 500 bucks Fijian, which is like $250 US or $230 US, which is double what I should be paying. But they tried to charge me 400 for a new solenoid and everything. I was like, there's no way I'm paying that. New starter's like 150. So he worked with me and said he wouldn't, if we did it without the new solenoid, and he tried to replace the brushes and we try it with the old magnetic switch. I just needed, honestly, like, I just need it to get me to New Zealand. So that's the key. And I can get a brand new starter there for like 150. So that's where we're at, and he's gonna get it taken care of today. He was a nice dude. It was cool that he worked with me, because I was like, I'm not paying that. That's crazy. So he was chill when I told him it was absurd, and gave me another option, so I'm stoked on that. And we'll see how it all works out. About to bench test the starter so I can see it works proper, and we'll be on our way.
Ready?
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Are you good?
Hell yeah. That's money. Hell yes, we're in business. Okay, moment of truth. We're gonna try to start it. Now, it might have trouble starting anyway, because I suspect that my starter battery is going out. So I don't think it has enough amps to easily start the engine cold. These Yanmars don't have glow plugs, so they're hard to start cold. So we'll see. And kind of this test and the next test in a couple days, if it's still really hard to start, then I'm gonna go buy a new starter battery. But if I can manage to wait till New Zealand, where it's a lot cheaper than buying it here, then I'll do that. So let's see what it's all about. And here we go. Try it again. So like, that tells me kind of everything I need to know. Like, I'm gonna for sure go buy a starter battery tomorrow. You could hear how it was struggling. And I think it's just that starter battery doesn't have enough punch. And they have them in stock. I can pick it up from the shelf and install it. So that's the next step. Okay, so Tritea engine update. I've spent $400 so far. A little bit more maybe. I got the starter rebuilt, which had to be rebuilt. It was out. Yesterday I bought a brand new starter battery because I felt like maybe mine didn't have enough amps. It was generic, and it was a couple of years old, so I bit the bullet, paid 200 bucks for not a great battery, but I'm in Fiji. I installed the battery, and the engine wouldn't start. The funny thing is, I installed the starter the day before with the old battery, and it took 3 tries, but I got the engine to start the day before with the new starter, with the rebuilt starter. Yesterday I installed the $200 battery with the $200 starter, and it would not start. And I was like, I just like closed my eyes and like shut the camera off. And I had to count to 10,000. I just put everything away and took the rest of the day. I was like, I'm not even gonna research. I'm just gonna like edit for the rest of the day and like not think about it, because I was like so frustrated. So today I edited this morning, and then I got into it. I pulled the exhaust hose off to see if there was buildup inside the elbow. I was thinking that could be a back pressure problem. There was no corrosion in there. It's perfectly clear, so that was good. And then I bled the system like 5 times, and in doing so, I figured out or noticed that I'm no longer getting fuel shooting out of the injectors. So on these Yanmars, you bleed the system up to the fuel pump and get all the air out from there, and then to actually bleed the full system, you have to turn the engine over with your injector nuts cracked, and then when fuel shoots out, when the engine's turning over or even running, then you tighten down those nuts or the bolts on the injectors. That's how you bleed these, because you can't manually bleed the system past the high pressure pump. So what's happening is that there is no fuel coming out at the injectors. So that tells me it's most likely the lifting pump, the fuel lifting pump. So I'm going to spend the rest of the day researching that. I have been in my book like crazy, reading everything about it. Through the whole process, everything I've been using that service manual. But I'm going to go online and I'm just going to research the hell out of it. And then come tomorrow, I'll probably see about pulling that fuel lifting pump out, take it apart, look at it, see if I can diagnose anything that's happening with it, put it back together, put it back on. If it still does the same thing, then I'll see about getting it repaired, or see if it's possible to get repaired here. If it's not, then I'll just sell to New Zealand with no engine, which is not a big deal. It's not ideal, but it's doable. That's where I'm at with my fuel, with my engine drama. Good morning from Port Denarau here in Fiji. Today we're going to be taking the high pressure pump from the engine to a town that's 20 miles away. La Toca is the name of the town. There's a dude there, a mechanic that specializes in fuel injection for diesels, specifically marine diesels. And I spoke with him on the phone yesterday. He had me send him a bunch of photos, and he said, yeah, he can test it, no problem. I have a feeling the way things are going to play out is he's going to test it and tell me it doesn't work. And I can't imagine there's a timeline that's realistic for him rebuilding it for me. I need to be leaving here. I need to be leaving Fiji for New Zealand in a week. So, chances are, you know, if he says he can't do it in the next, like, couple days, then I'm just gonna take it back and reinstall it on the engine, and or even leave it off so I can have it dealt with when I get to New Zealand. First obstacle, get into town. I'm gonna get some breakfast made by somebody else, and then we're gonna sort out this bus situation and go on an adventure here in Fiji. Alright, I'm in La Toca after a 2-hour bus ride. Now I'm walking down, gonna go find this fuel injection shop and see if we can get this part sorted out. Okay, so I got the high pressure pump dropped off. They're gonna look at it today after lunch and let me know what the issue is. They said they have to open it up to find out what has failed and what needs to take place to fix it or not fix it. So this is Friday, so nothing's gonna happen. I mean, we're gonna know by the end of today what the path forward is, but if they can't fix it with parts in-house, then I'm just gonna have them put it back together and I'll come pick it up on Monday and just get it fixed or get a replacement in New Zealand. So now we're gonna walk around, check out this town a little bit, and then hop on a bus and head back to Port Denarau. Okay, it's time to move Tritea into the harbor here at Port Denarau. The winds have switched. Every morning it gets really still for about an hour before the winds start coming out of the northwest, and then they kind of blow all day. So they've just started to die. So I've lashed the dinghy on the hip, and we're gonna use that as our motor since we have no engine at the moment. And I've already lined everything up with the harbor. We've been assigned mooring ball number 2. So we're gonna motor in there real slow and pick up the mooring ball. It's gonna be a little tricky by myself with the dinghy, but we'll get it done and go from there. So time to get the dinghy motor running and haul up and head for the channel. Like 2.5 knots, which is pretty cool. I don't even have it half throttle, so that's good. So funny, that's my buddy Keith. He just happened to be coming in right when I'm coming in. We had a nice little visit. Awesome dude. From New Zealand, originally from England. Great dude though. It's going good, super stoked. The only tricky part now is going to be picking up the mooring, but I think it'll be okay. We'll just creep in real slow. Very, very stoked. All right, we are on, and now I'll just get us tied off proper. And only took 2 passes, which I'm pretty happy with. All right, got it knocked out. Got Tritea driven in down the channel that cuts through tight shoals and into Port Denarau Harbor on a mooring ball. And it was an excellent test drive for what I'm sure I'm gonna be doing in Apua in New Zealand. I'm sure my engine won't be fixed. I call this morning, actually here in about 20 minutes I'm gonna give a call and find out what the forecast is, but I'm certain I'll be sailing with no engine. But this gave me a lot of faith, and look, Kiwis and other cruisers that spent time in New Zealand during COVID, talked to a bunch of them and they're all like, Opua is easy, it's no problem. They said the only thing you need to worry about is the tidal flow, so you kind of want to time it so you can control your speed, otherwise you'll shoot past it into the shallows. So, but I can also drop anchor and get settled, you know what I mean, if I have to once I get there. So I am feeling good and feeling happy, and stoked to be secured to a mooring ball here in the harbor, and looking forward to sailing to New Zealand soon. Okay, I am just back from my 3rd trip to Lautoka. The first 2 were by bus, 5 hours round trip each. Today I splurged for a cab, which cost me like 40 bucks US. And then as soon as the guy agreed on the price, he said, he tried to charge me 90 bucks round trip. I was like, no way, because the bus round trip is $8, but it takes a long time. So he's like, okay, 80 bucks round trip. And then when I got back, he tried to charge me double. He's like, oh no, it was 80 each way. And I was like, you're high. Here's the money, take it or leave it. And then suddenly it was 80 again. I got the pump that all the rubber bits have been replaced. He serviced the whole thing, took it all apart and tested it. It's working. He had me bring in my fuel injectors, which he replaced everything on, cleaned all the carbon off. They look gorgeous. And here's the packet of the old O-rings. So we got the fuel injector serviced, and we got the high pressure pump completely serviced, and everything is tested and working. It was $175 Fijian, which is 77 US dollars, which is pretty good for having everything totally serviced and tested and working. So now I'm going to start the slow methodical process of reinstalling the high pressure pump and reinstalling everything I had to take off the high pressure pump, and then we'll see if the engine starts. Okay, so I got it running. Did a valve adjustment, which was the valve were way out. I might play with that a couple more times and make sure she's good. Before I leave, I might do it again. Still pretty hard to start. We'll see now that I've got the whole system bled all the way up to the injectors. But she's running. We'll see. It'll take me a minute before I actually have faith that this engine's gonna start and run when I need her to. We're gonna be here for another, I don't know, 4 days waiting for a weather window to leave. So there's still time to play with it. Tomorrow we're gonna get hauled out and get the bottom and everything sprayed, so that we can have a receipt for New Zealand. They like to make sure that there's no life forms coming in from other places to protect their waters. So we're gonna do that tomorrow, and then it's just a matter of like provision, fuel, and get ready to go. If you enjoy the content on this channel and would like to contribute, you can consider joining the Patreon crew. Thanks for watching. Fair winds until next time.